Consider, for reasons of brevity only, just the personnel issue. Over the years, the city has hired a lot of people. According to citydata.com's most recent data, Rockaway has 11 FTE employees per 1,000 of population, compared to 7 for Garibaldi, 7 for Tillamook, and 8 for Wheeler. Now, wages and salaries tend to increase. For example, we are shortly facing what I believe is going to be a 30% increase in the PERS rate. That's the Public Employee Retirement System. That will cost a pretty penny, and much of the money is going to have to come from water and sewer funds. Why is that? It's because a very substantial part of the salaries and wages paid to Rockaway employees come from sewer and water revenues, over 60%. The magnitude of wages and salaries paid out of water and sewer funds is shown on this handout. That's that graph up there. That data is from the recently approved 2011-2012 budget as presented by the former city manager. Earlier this year, when I asked the former city manager why 70% of his pay was covered by sewer and water funds, he told me the magnitude of the sewer and water operations was so great that it was necessary for him to devote 70% of his time to them. Evidently, it was also necessary for the finance director to devote 80% of his time, the administrative assistant to devote 80% of her time, and the general clerk to devote 90% of her time to these operations as well. What nonsense! The city manager's salary was 70% covered by sewer and water funds because that was the only place to find it. As the famous bank robber Willie Sutton said when asked why he robbed banks, because that's where the money is. Our mayor worked very hard to try and convince the former city manager to cut administrative costs of this city by 15%. That resulted in a ferocious battle, and the city manager resigned. In a highly unprofessional way, I might add, one bordering on the unethical, considering he was being paid by the city to look after its interests, not to restart sterile political battles of the sort that have made Rockaway the laughingstock of the coast. Be that as it may, the city manager did not want the city's expenditures to shrink. After all, the bigger your budget, the more power you have, and he clearly planned on covering them using sewer and water funds and increasing the rates as needed. It's built right into the budget, and I was on that committee, and you have to be blind not to see it. Look at the budget message the city manager read to the budget committee, and which Mr. Taylor was kind enough to read to us a few minutes ago. Those increases may not hit this fiscal year, but as city expenditures go up, water and sewer rates will go up. Councillor Riley has written in the Herald that he has seen a flyer related to the recall election upcoming that says, "Vote no for recall, vote no for water sewer rate increase." He said that whoever sent out the flyer is fabricating things since there will be no increases. That is misleading, to put it charitably. Yes, rates aren't going to go up today, but just wait for tomorrow. It was members of Team Rockaway who campaigned to lower the city expenditures, and if the recall is successful, the odds of city expenditures being reduced are probably not very good. In that case, increases in sewer and water rates will be pretty much guaranteed. So while I haven't seen that flyer that Councillor Riley has complained about, it seems to me that it's pretty much on the mark in this regard. Thank you for your time.